You know what? Why not today start with a little bit more of a, not a deep talk, but a serious, genuine conversation. So I talked to someone recently and they said to me, bro, man, some of these Marvel movies are so fucking amazing and they're so deep. I think they legit have like philosophers on the writing staff to write some of these amazing like morals, like to teach you about morals, and they have these deep character arcs and they really teach you a lot and it really made him think and stuff. And my first reaction is like some of you in chat, like, what the fuck? Come on. Be real. And then I realized something. I have a good friend. He loves everything that's mainstream. He loves every Marvel movie, everything, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, why do you like this shit, man? Why do you like this shit? And I've had this realization that, I don't know, it's so simple, and I knew this before, but it kind of hit, you know? There's like empirical knowledge and there's like rational knowledge. And empirical knowledge always hits different. You can logically infer something and then you logically understand it, but like if you want knowledge to really sink in, you have to have like an empirical, like experience-based thing, and then like it really is in your head. And I just realized that, dude, it's literally all about generations. It's literally just an age thing, and not like young people like this stuff. It's about what movies are the ones that teach you about certain things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're introduced to ideas of moral philosophy, even very, very simple ones, very, very extremely simple ones that you think are deep when you're like 14, because that's when you get introduced into the stuff. If these are the movies, if those movies are Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, then you're gonna really start thinking about it and you're gonna love these movies because they teach you about that stuff. For me, these movies are nothing but just short-term entertainment because none of the ideas they really show me I haven't seen before in other movies because I'm not 18. The movies that really made me think, now looking back, I also cringe when I watch them. Like the movie Watchmen. Now, I love the movie for more than just the moral philosophy in it. I think the fight scenes and the art is really cool. But now as I rewatched Watchmen, I'm like, bro, this is so on the nose. It's so cringe. It's not even that deep. What the fuck? But as a movie that introduced me way back when to some of these ideas, this was important. And I love that movie. For example, yeah, Fight Club. Now, Fight Club is just an all-out amazing movie, I think, in many, many ways. But Fight Club, American History X, American Psycho, a lot of movies that introduce an idea to you for the first time, you will remember them in a positive way. And these are just different movies for different generations. So if the idea, something super simple that none of us probably think is like deep or anything, it's a very simple like moral concept. It's like, oh, what is it called? Utilitarianism. Like, what are you willing to sacrifice for like a greater good? Some shit, right? That's like the whole idea behind Thanos, however the fuck you say his name. Now, this is something when I watch it, it doesn't even stick. He says it and it goes right in here and goes out here because I've seen this shit. I've seen this when I was 13 in some movies, and that's where it stuck with me. But now it can't because this is not a new concept. That's why I don't give a fuck. But if you are 15 and then Thanos comes along and he's like, I want to sacrifice half of all life. No, I want to, what is it? Not enough resources, so half life, whatever the fuck. So, and then you think, holy shit, as a 14-year-old, think about that. You're like, oh my God, would I do that? Shit. And then you go on Wikipedia and you look up utilitarianism and you're like, oh man, fuck this shit, bro. You guys can laugh about it, but this is absolutely the case. There is some point in your life when you get introduced to these ideas, and the first piece of medium that introduces them to you are gonna stick with you. And you're gonna maybe look back at them and then be like, oh, that was actually pretty cringe. But the guy that I talked to, he was right. If the first time he thought he was confronted with certain moral conundrums was in a Marvel movie, then of course they're gonna stick with him. This is the first time he saw them being presented to him. This is the movies that confront him with those philosophies of his generation. Who am I to say that the movies that taught me this shit or that got me to think were deep? Hell no. Obviously, Fight Club are like timeless classics, but like I said, Watchmen. I rewatched Watchmen. I don't think it's that great. I think it's okay. It's all right. But if I watched Watchmen today, I would cringe a lot. But it was really badass when I was 15. Really fucking cool. Without condoning or condemning, I understand. So fucking cool. The difference is between a masterpiece and a good movie masterpiece. No, you don't understand what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about necessarily the quality of the movie, bro. It's just about where you're confronted with something for the first time. And the reason why this thought is so interesting to me is because it also makes me understand more and more why, you know, as you get older and as you have seen a lot of different media and a lot of ideas being portrayed, why so many games and so many movies nowadays bore the fuck out of me. Is because Nowadays, I'm literally just looking for something new. I'm just looking to be presented something interesting and new. But when you grow up as a teenager, everything is new. The likelihood of something being new is just a lot higher than the likelihood of something being new when you're 30. And it decreases more when you're 40. It decreases and decreases and decreases. That's why it's so unique to find something special as you get older, because you've seen a lot. And you know what? This made me, gave me like a new understanding, man. To not shit on, what's a movie that... Yeah, if someone thinks, you know, Avengers Infinity War is so fucking deep. It's like, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Like, you know what? Fair enough. You think Infinity War is deep? Yeah, if that's the first time you were consulted with these thoughts, then cool. I get it, man. I get it. I had my movies that confronted me with this type of shit, and you have the Marvel movies that are confronting you with this stuff. Like, at the point when Marvel movies got big, I've seen 20,000 slow motion shit already. Or John Wick. John Wick isn't good. John Wick action is not great. If you grow up on action scenes that are just massive amounts of cuts and just only cutting and crazy shit, then the first time you see a movie like John Wick that doesn't cut a lot, you're like, oh my god, it's so cool. But when you're like me and you grew up with Jackie Chan, and with a lot of Hong Kong cinema, you watch John Wick and you're like, the fuck is this? It's just amateur stuff. But that still, I shouldn't talk shit about the people who, if John Wick action is what introduces them to this type of idea, then of course it's gonna be special to them, they're gonna remember it, and they're gonna think it's awesome. And who am I to take that away from them, you know? I just wanted to share that thought, and I think, yeah, I'm proud of you, bro. Gotta say, some wise shit. Hell yeah, bro, I'm super wise. So, you know what? A lot of it honestly comes down to just age and experience. Almost everything comes down to it. Like, video games are a new medium. Since when are video games mainstream? 10 years, something like that. What is the video game reviewer landscape gonna look like in 100 years? Because right now, in a way, although there are different generations now playing video games, it's still sort of, we're all growing with it. Everything that's new is sort of new for everyone still, if you catch my drift. But in 100 years, that's gonna be different. And it's gonna be, we're gonna have old people and young people all interacting with the medium at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when old people will review games, it will be so entirely unrelatable for young people. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm 60 and I play an open world game that's like GTA 5, I'm gonna think, this is the most boring ass shit I've ever seen in my life, and I don't give a single shit. 4 out of 10. An 8-year-old who's just getting into video games, he's gonna play that game and think, what the fuck is that guy talking about? It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I just noticed this more and more and more with, like, me when I play a game, I'm literally just looking for what's new. And this is also so unique. It's also unique to me, right? Because I haven't played every game. It's just interesting. Although, you know, what is new is not always good. Like, Deathloop was just dog shit.